Eleanor Hayes believed blood was thicker than water, until it wasn't. At 68, she still wore the silver locket Robert gave her 40 years ago on their wedding day. Inside, a faded photo of their only son, Marcus, age 5, gap-toothed and full of light. That light had dimmed long ago. The call came at 2:17 a.m. Insomnia had been her shadow since Robert's heart attack 8 years earlier. Caller ID, Marcus Sell. Mom? His voice was thick, bourbon, regret, maybe both. It's Sarah. She's really bad. Doctors say she might not make it through the night. Eleanor sat bolt upright. Sarah. Marcus's wife of 9 years. The soft-spoken woman who baked Eleanor's pecan pie every Thanksgiving, who called her Mom like it was the most natural word in the world. The woman Marcus had sworn before God and family to cherish. What happened? Eleanor's tone was iron. I see you at St. Mary's. Pneumonia. They say it's from neglect. He hesitated. I've been working late, traveling. With who? A long pause. Just business. Eleanor ended the call. Within minutes she had a ticket booked, Chicago to Atlanta, first flight out. By sunrise she was wheels up. St. Mary's Hospital smelled of antiseptic and broken promises. Room 412. Sarah lay small and fragile under white sheets, tubes snaking from her arms, monitors beeping like a countdown. Her auburn hair, once thick and shining, was now dull straw. The chart was brutal: bilateral pneumonia, early sepsis, severe malnutrition, chronic dehydration. She'd been sick for weeks. No one noticed. A nurse handed Eleanor a clear plastic bag of Sarah's things. At the bottom, a worn leather journal. In the quiet waiting room, Eleanor opened it. First entry, 3 years back. March 12th, Marcus home at 2 a.m. again. Smelled like perfume. Asked where he'd been. Work. I believe him because I have to. Pages and pages followed. Missed appointments. Bills ignored while Marcus needed cash for client dinners. Winter heat turned off to save money while he drove the new BMW Eleanor co-signed. Emotional distance growing into cold cruelty. Last entry, 2 weeks earlier. He promised to take me to the doctor tomorrow. He didn't. I can barely breathe. If this is how it ends. Mom Eleanor, if you ever read this, tell him I loved him anyway. Eleanor's fingers trembled as she closed the book. Then she looked up. Through the glass entrance doors, Marcus's midnight blue Escalade, the one she'd bought him last Christmas, pulled up. Bass thumped. He laughed. 2 young women in the back seat, giggling, champagne flutes in hand. He leaned over, kissed one on the cheek, then peeled away into the Atlanta night. Something inside Eleanor didn't break. It crystallized. Morning came. The doctor laid it out: Sarah's survival odds were coin flip at best. She needed private nursing, experimental meds, round-the-clock care. 6 figures, minimum. Marcus arrived at noon, unshaven, red-eyed, reeking faintly of last night's excess. Mom, he croaked. Thank God you're here. The bills, the mortgage. I don't know what to do. Eleanor studied him, the boy she'd raised alone, put through college and law school, given the down payment on their Buckhead house. She stood slowly. Marcus. This is your last chance. He blinked. What? 72 hours. That's all you get. You pay every penny of Sarah's treatment from your own accounts, no more touching mine. You sit by her bed every single day. You hold her hand. You beg forgiveness when she wakes. And you end whatever entertainment you've been chasing. Marcus swallowed hard. Mom, If you do it, she continued, voice level, I wipe this slate clean. House stays yours. Car stays yours. Trust fund untouched. We pretend it never happened. But if you fail, if you lie, disappear, or disappoint her one more time, I take it all back. Everything I've ever given you. Everything. His mouth opened, closed. You can't just. I can, she said softly. And I will. Tears welled in his eyes. I'll do it. I swear. Day 1, he tried. He sat beside Sarah, phone mostly silent. Held her hand. Asked the doctors real questions. Eleanor watched from the doorway, arms folded. Day 2, the cracks appeared. Phone buzzed endlessly. Client emergency, he muttered. Stepped out, for just a minute. 4 hours later he returned, gin on his breath, lipstick on his collar. Eleanor was waiting. Time's up. No, Mom, listen. She lifted her phone. A photo, Marcus at a rooftop lounge downtown, arms around 2 women, timestamp 43 minutes earlier. His face drained of color. You had your chance, she said. You chose. That night, while Marcus dozed in the recliner, Eleanor worked. Call 1, Victoria Lang, her attorney of 25 years. Freeze everything. Accounts, titles, vehicles. Now. Call 2, the bank. The Escalade was in Eleanor's name, loan, registration, insurance. My son took it without permission. He's been drinking. Reported stolen. By dawn, Marcus's world collapsed in notifications, police, repo truck, declined credit cards. He burst into the room, furious. What the hell, Mom? You reported my car stolen? Your car. Eleanor replied calmly. It's in my name. Like the house. Like the trust that covers your mortgage. Sarah stirred, first movement in days. Eyes fluttered open. Voice a rasp, Marcus? He rushed over. Baby, I'm here. I'm so sorry. Sarah looked past him to Eleanor. Don't, let him in. Marcus froze. Sarah's whisper cut deeper than any scream. He turned off the heat last month. Said we couldn't afford. That's why I got sick. Because he didn't care. Marcus stammered. Sarah, I love you. Eleanor stepped forward. Victoria's on her way. The house transfers to Sarah today, irrevocable. The Escalade is already being towed. The trust? Rewritten. Primary beneficiary, Sarah Hayes. If anything happens to her, it goes to the Atlanta Women's Shelter. Marcus laughed, broken, disbelieving. You can't do this to me. I'm your son. You stopped being my son the moment you chose strangers over the woman you promised to protect. Security arrived. 2 big men in black. Sir. You need to leave. Marcus lunged toward the bed. Sarah, tell them. Tell them I'm sorry. Sarah turned her face to the wall. They dragged him out. His screams echoed down the hallway, Mom. Mom, please. Eleanor never flinched. 6 months later. Sarah healed slowly, therapy, counseling, quiet determination. She moved into the Buckhead house, now legally hers. She volunteered at the public library, restoring old books. She called Eleanor Mom every single day. Eleanor sold her Chicago brownstone and bought a modest cottage nearby. She planted roses. She slept through the night for the first time in years. One humid afternoon, cruising through Midtown in her new Audi, she saw him. Marcus Hayes, 39, in a sweat-stained uniform, washing cars at a detailing shop on Peachtree. Red hands, slumped shoulders. Their eyes locked as she passed. He raised a hesitant hand, pleading, broken. Eleanor kept driving. Straight ahead. No glance back. That evening, Sarah came over for dinner. They sat on the porch eating pecan pie, watching fireflies dance. You did the right thing, Sarah said quietly. Eleanor touched the locket. I gave him every chance he deserved. He chose wrong. Sarah smiled, small, real, alive. Then we choose each other. Eleanor nodded. The weight she'd carried for decades finally lifted. Months later, a plain envelope arrived at the car wash. No return address. Inside, one photograph, Eleanor and Sarah on a beach, wind in their hair, laughing. On the back, in Eleanor's precise handwriting, this is what family looks like. You had your chance. Marcus stared at it for a long minute. Then he folded it carefully, slipped it into his pocket, and went back to scrubbing tires. The Atlanta sun dipped low, painting the sky gold. And somewhere,